So our route, we're going to leave the lovely North Devon, Croy Bay, and we're going to follow down through to Tiverton, probably go the 303, up the M3, around the beautiful M25, which I'm sure won't be busy, join the M20, get ourselves to Dover. That's the first day. English Channel into Calais, probably pick up a few bits and bits, nothing too major, and then follow this route through France, which is interesting. We've done this one before, we did it last year. We're in no race. The nice thing is we're hoping to stop at a few places, and then we're going to go and visit some friends who live around this area. I don't want obviously to give their address away, but we went and visited them last year. Hopefully then through the Pyrenees. No designated route yet, because we're a bit make it up as you go along. We've had lots of advice about going along the northern Spain route. I don't know if we're going to go all that way. We might go as far as Bilbao and then cut back through. I'm trying to stay away from mountain roads. The beast is 4 and a bit tons, and she takes some dragging up hills. She'll go. She's made of tough stuff, but obviously we want to try and keep that down to the minimum. Then into Portugal. We are initially going to drive through Portugal. Once again, no real route, just driving, following our noses, having a look every day as to places we can visit. Obviously follow lots of different places, but the one place we will be going to is Nazaré. That's probably not how you pronounce it, but there you go. Got a couple of friends living here, Sully and Cotty, mainly Sully, who I've known all my life, and they are very much into the big surfing. So we're going to go and hopefully catch a couple of swells and watch them in action. That will be interesting. I don't mind hanging around for a couple of weeks or even a month trying to wait for the right swell to see them in action. So, swells don't come to order, they just come when nature sends them. We'll do some time there, come down through the rest of Portugal. Lisbon's going to be very nice, so we're going to pop in and have a look at Lisbon. Come down, go through the bottom of Portugal, and then work our way back through Cadiz, and then from Tarifa catch a ferry to Tangier, and then the Moroccan 3 months. Initially we're just going to follow the coast road down in no particular rush or in no particular order. Stopping at all these little towns, but mainly staying away from towns if possible. I mean, there's going to be things we will want to visit it, but in a lot of these instances, I'm hoping that we can just camp in an established camping ground around a town, and then maybe just catch a bus in to do the sightseeing and have a look around. But we've learnt from being in France that some small towns, the streets are so narrow, trying to get a 4-ton bus down them can sometimes be complicated. We were in France last year, and we somehow managed to get stuck in a street with some scaffolding and a couple of parked cars, and we got ourselves in a right muddle. And I don't really want to repeat that, so obviously we'll pop in and see Marrakesh. That could be different. Go to Agadir. I went to Tazarut and Anchor Point as a young lad, as a young 17-year-old. We went there a few years ago, and obviously, as all things in this world, it's a lot bigger than it used to be. When I went there, none of this was here. and it's grown substantially. The problem is nice areas, nice places become busy. It's just the nature of it. Hope to hang out and watch some surf, maybe do some fishing at Anchor Point. It's a good spot. And then come out of going to Agadir. We stayed in a few resorts down here all those years ago with the kids as they were growing up. Like to visit that. That's the King's crib. Lovely place, I'm sure. I played with him. And then, I don't know, we've been advised to go down as far as here and then start working our way back up through the desert, up through the Atlas Mountains here, and then carry on through the desert areas. We definitely want to go, and there's a very sandy area which I've got, the name escapes me now, that we definitely want to go visit. I think it's around here. My friend Sully had been there just a few months ago, and he said the peace that you find in the desert is amazing, so we're kind of looking forward to that. So come back out through Morocco, having spent 3 months there, and then we're going to go back into Spain. I'd like to go to Gibraltar again, but once again we might just park up somewhere near and catch a bus in, and then follow up the coast. A couple of friends who live in and around Malaga, pop and see them, especially the Digger Man, who's got his little cycling business. Be good to see him. We used to live together in Lanzarote many years ago, so looking forward to bumping into him. So glad we kind of stayed in touch, which in fairness that's what Facebook and all the social media has allowed, that you can do this and keep in touch with people. So in theory, the next part of the trip is to go to Algeria. To do that, we'd have to take a ferry from Almere across here to Oran. We did look into getting, we've already been to the consulate in London, and unfortunately we went there well in advance thinking we could get our visa, and we're quite prepared to stay in accommodation. That's part of the visa process, but they only issue it with 3 months to go, so that kind of caused a bit of a drama. So we were there in October. Obviously by the time we'd have actually got here, the visa would have run out, so which the drama with that is to actually prepare the visa for our trip. When we're in Malaga, we'll have to fly back to London, go back into London, get the visa, fly back to Malaga, pick up the truck, come across here to Almere, jump in a ferry and get to Oran. So we'll probably book a couple of accommodation places, only a week in each. So Oran, Caliph, Algiers, Satif and Constantine. Constantine's meant to have some amazing, and really excited about that, because the other thing we hopefully, or I want to try and do, is you can book a proper escorted trip from Algiers down into the desert, and I quite like the sound of that. So we're going to try and do that, but this is a long way in advance. And then so we'll probably get a month's visa and be in Algiers in sort of April, May time. Into Tunisia quick. Hopefully do a month. I really don't know. Visas allegedly you can just get on the land border. Shouldn't be any real issue. We'll hopefully do a month in Tunisia. We'll just see how time is. But then we hope to take a ferry from Tunis to Palmero, do Sicily, go visit Mount Etna, which should be quite interesting, and then into the boot of Italy. I'm not sure we're going to get as far as Naples, but obviously all of this area is stunningly beautiful. I can't wait. Do like Italy, and I've got some good friends. Then the plan is to get to Bari, take another ferry to Gizzys in Albania. From Albania, really, so obviously our main focus, or my main focus, I don't know about my wife's, was to do the trip to India. We're delaying it because right at this precise moment, Azerbaijan has its border shut. You can't do land crossings. This at the moment is because COVID is the reason being given for the land border being closed. But obviously, I think it's the last land border that's shut because of COVID in the world. But the unofficial reason is because Azerbaijan, for their own reasons, don't want to welcome allegedly Russian draft dodgers, and obviously no one wants to fight and die, do they? So they're obviously, anyway, Georgia itself has been absolutely invaded by Russians, young Russian draft dodgers. So going back to where we are, if this border opens in April, which is the next point of its decision, our planned route is to go from Albania, North Macedonia, into Bulgaria, go visit Istanbul, where Easter week's best, or the other way around, travel through Turkey, depending on. So if that border doesn't open, we're going to spend at least 3 months in Turkey, because through Turkey. So the plan in theory is to go to Georgia, if the border opens, through Azerbaijan to Baku, take a ferry across to Kazakhstan, I believe we go to Aktu, and then into the stands. So this is Kazakhstan, into Uzbekistan, a lot of deserty areas, quite interesting, into Tashkent, and then into Kyrgyzstan. I'm sure that's not the right way of doing it. To this border, and then from here we'll have a 5-day crossing of the Himalayas through China. Where are we?
A few moments later.
Right, that's better. It's a bit clearer. So our trip through China, with we have to pay an escort. Basically a travel company. They will provide the service we need to comply with the visa requirements to travel through China. So they'll meet us at this pass here, get us across the border, arrange the truck to have temporary registration, new Chinese registration plate. They'll arrange for me to have a temporary Chinese driving pass or driving license. Then there's a 4-day journey, which will take us to Kashi, and then we follow this road here, and we go to here, which is the Karakorum Pass. It's the highest border crossing in the world, so we're kind of looking forward to that. And then through this area here, which is in northern Pakistan, well, basically into Pakistan. we had a guy staying in our B&B this year who had done some mountaineering there, and he confirmed it is just unbelievably beautiful, and said we would have an amazing time. Right, so basically we're going to come down into Islamabad and then into India. So India, we're hoping to do about 3 or 4 months around this area. I mean, it's a pipe dream really. It's really down to whether Azerbaijan decides to open its borders. And then back. A bit of a dream really is to there is journeys, escorted journeys that will take you to Mongolia, through Mongolia into Kazakhstan, and then back, and then we follow the route back. Obviously, with Moscow and Ukraine and Russia up in arms, travelling through Russia is probably a no-no. There is an alternative route that would stop, in different ways. We could not go through Azerbaijan, or we couldn't go through. You could drive through Russia. It's a 15-hour journey, but it's just not worth the risk. You could have a faulty brake light, and before you know it, you're pulled over and locked up for 15 years on some baloney. And we just can't take that risk. And the other Azerbaijan issue is, in theory, we could go through Iran. My wife can. She can get a visa at the border. She's German, my lovely wife. She gets a 30-day visa, and she can just travel through Tehran and straight into Pakistan. But we can't do that. Or I can't do that because I'm a UK passport holder. So that's the gist of the route. We've got a year to undertake that, or even 18 months if we need it. Journey of a lifetime.